Hey you guys, I'm back as promised with my part 2 to Spiritual Awakening, Opening of the Third Eye. And before I get started, I just want to go ahead and spray some sage mist that I made just right around in my immediate space here. And I know I've told you guys this 1,000 times, but in case someone missed it, when you're working in nature, you do not have to cleanse your area because nature itself is cleansing, but I always do it. It just makes me feel better. And like I tell you guys, you just follow your heart. Whatever you feel like you're drawn to do, whatever you feel is the best way for you, you know, that's the way you need to go. And, feel free to learn from others and, imitate others. But if you feel the need to do something your way, add that or omit something, tweak it, make it your own. And, this is another thing, with our craft, with this path that we're on, there's no right way, there's no wrong way. There's your way, there's my way, and that is our way. And that is the way the Goddess intended it to be. So let's get started. I brought a tower with me, and this is simply a jasper tower. And I'm just going to sit it down here on the ground next to where I'm sitting. And the reason I'm bringing jasper is because, for one, in my first video, I mentioned that grounding yourself, that is a key step in opening your third eye. And not only is jasper grounding, it's very protective, and anytime you're doing something and you're uneasy, you're unsure, even if, you've done it plenty of times and you're very experienced, always protect yourself. And jasper is one of those stones that is very protective of the user. Jasper has this type of energy about it. It's a long acting stone, which means that, long after you've completed your work, the energy from the jasper is still working in your favor. If you've set an intention, if you've, set a protection, fence around something or someone, if you've, just no matter what it is, whatever type of work it is, if you've, intended it to be protective, if you've intended it to be, of a opening your mind, learning, whatever your intention is, jasper will continue to work long after you've stopped working. So I just thought it was one of those stones that could really benefit me as I'm sharing this with you guys. And I'm just going to get started. I normally, kind of take notes because I will get sidetracked, and usually I'll do a video, and then after I've finished up, I'll think of something that I really wanted to include, and I've learned from that, taking notes is the best way to not forget things. But I always meditate beforehand too, and when I meditated this morning before this video, the path I was on isn't the path that I was supposed to be on, and that happens quite a lot. And that is one of the reasons we meditate, is to see things, is to, receive messages from your higher power, from the Goddess, from, the powers that may be. And, when I'm doing these videos, this happens quite often, and again, it's happened this morning. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to get through it without forgetting anything or, getting sidetracked too bad. But opening your third eye. In my previous video, I offered some advice and I shared a little bit of background, and I also shared a few ways you could go about opening your third eye. And those ways were, you know, meditation, changing your diet, you know, incorporating exercise, yoga, changing your mentality, trying to let go of ego and things like that, humbling yourself, making yourself realize the importance of, giving gratitude, having gratitude, changing your sleep patterns, basically changing your whole, day-to-day routine, so to say, to help you open your third eye. And I'm not going to, go back over that, and I will share this with you. I'm just kind of out of sorts a bit. I meditated, and like I said, something which I believe to be the God has put me in another direction with this topic. And I've got things in my life, and I share them with you guys in hopes of, helping you to see, I do things this way, or if I've experienced this in my life, and, I hope that maybe you can relate or resonate, or, maybe it'll just be something that you didn't know that can help you, as you grow in the craft. But I try not to share too much of my personal life, because these videos aren't about me. These videos are about, sharing and growing and learning and evolving in the craft. But I do want to share a little something with you guys this morning, because I want to share that with you in hopes of making you understand some things about opening your third eye. This past year, last year, I lost my son, and I'm still grieving him greatly. I grieve him daily, and when I say that I'm a little, off balance, or, out of sorts this morning, that is one of the reasons why, because like almost every morning I have a breakdown. And again, this morning I did. And usually I wait a little while to gather myself before I do a video, before I just, head out into the world. But I didn't this morning. I just, I wiped my face and I sat down and I just turned the camera on. And I felt so drawn to share with you guys. I didn't want to lose, I didn't want to lose the courage to share, and I didn't want to lose, the idea that I want to share with you. And I'm trying to get to it, just bear with me. The other thing, I had an injury to my back maybe 6 months ago, and I've always had, a bit of problems with my back off and on my whole life. Even as a teenager, as young as 14, I remember going to the doctor with a backache, and any little thing I did in school, when I would go home from basketball practice, I would be hurting in my back, and it would be more than what I believed to be normal. And the doctor diagnosed me with having scoliosis, and I just attributed it with that. Well, like I said, this past year I hurt my back at work, and it just wasn't healing. And what I did was I slipped a disc, and it became a herniated disc, and it just wasn't healing. I felt like it was getting worse. I'm in constant pain. So I went back to the doctor, and the doctor informed me that I had not one herniated disc, but two now, and pinched nerves. And, I was treated again, and again, I didn't heal. It's continued to get worse. And more tests will run, MRIs, CT scans, the whole 9 yards, and come to find out I have a degenerative spinal disease, and there's no cure for this, and it basically is what it's called. It's degenerative, and it's never going to heal. But I am receiving treatment, and it looks like I'm going to have surgery in the very near future. Anyway, those two things, those two things are huge things going on in my life, and I've been having trouble doing energy work, and it finally dawned on me that my chakras are blocked due to these things, stress, injury, grievance, all these things can affect your chakras and your spiritual being itself, your aura, your energetic self. And, I knew this, but sometimes things aren't as clear to us. It can be right on the tip of our nose, and it takes someone else to show us. And through meditation this morning, it came to me that the things I was going to share with you today about opening your third eye are things that I will share to you in maybe the next video. But today, for this video, it was shown to me that I need to speak to you about something else, but it is concerning opening the third eye. And that is, everyone wants to open their third eye. Everyone, they feel like if they do this, they will have a closer connection with the goddess. They will have a closer connection with their higher self, with the powers that may, whatever it is that you believe in, whatever your higher power is. Most people believe by opening their third eye, this will give them that connection. This will help them do Reiki, energy work, read tarot cards, and, all of that good stuff. And it does. It really does. It will help you communicate with, outside of this realm. It will help you to see things outside of this realm. It will give you peace. It will give you clarity. There's just so many doors that it will open for you, and that is a great thing. But some people are not meant to open their third eye, and some people are not ready to open their third eye. And a lot of us, we are so eager to learn and to become good at something that we tend to rush to the finish line. And sometimes we have to pay attention to the things that lead up to our finish. And just like me, and once you open your third eye, it may stay open, and then something may happen, and what I say is it's not permanently closed. I say it's cracked because, if it's closed, it takes a little more to open it. But if it's cracked, you'll realize that you just you got to get woke up again, so to say. And, I've had this to happen to me before, and then I would get myself back together, and I would have my third eye wide open again. And I feel that I will again real soon, but I decided it was time to slow down a bit because I was going through this episode of grievance for my son, and I know that'll never end, but I will learn to deal with it better, more positively. And the thing with this spinal disease that I have, I know that there's no cure for it, but I will receive treatment, and my pain will, it will be eased. I know it'll never be completely gone, but it will be eased. And that is when I need to go back to working on opening my third eye again, because if you're not ready, if you have ill intentions, if you're harboring resentment, if you are angry with life, if you're angry with your ex-husband, if you're angry with the girl that stole your, position at work that you felt was yours, you know, whatever it may be, if you have blocked chakras, if you are sexually frustrated, if you are experiencing, you know, family problems, if you're in an abusive relationship, if you have mental issues, you know, schizophrenia, depression, you know, you're hyper, you have ADHD, you know, whatever it may be. Maybe you just have let yourself go. You've overeaten and you've gained a lot of weight and you're just unhealthy overall. You're unhappy overall. You're not sleeping good. You're having nightmares. Whatever the case may be, if you're not your normal self, you know, because no one knows you better than you know yourself. And I just want you guys to please, please, please don't rush to do anything that will be life changing. Don't rush to do anything that has to do with the spiritual nature of yourself, of the world. Anything that you do that has to do with the universe, your presence in the world. You know, this is a great big world, and the universe is, you know, the universe, and there's nothing that is as grand. There's nothing that has the energy. You know, if you aren't connected with your goddess like you should be, you know, please, please, I beg you, take care of those things before you decide to open your third eye, because we all see different things. And, you know, don't let it scare you, because you will see some pleasant things and you will see some unpleasant things, you know. And there's a balance. There's always a balance. There's light and dark, good and evil, you know, there's always balance. So we do have to, you know, have a balance of both within us to be whole. So, you know, you're gonna experience, you know, darkness, but you don't fear it. Fear is the worst emotion. Fear and anger are the two most destructive emotions that can, you know, they can just wreck our lives. They can just, so I beg you, you know, if you're not where you need to be in your life, if you're struggling with physical pain, mental pain, you know, like I said, you know yourself better than anyone. If you're not ready, you know, take your time, slow down, and do it the right way. I beg you guys. And that's going to be it for today. I may do a part 3 to incorporate some more ways to open your third eye and some ways to help you, you know, get your chakras aligned and get yourself together. And then we'll proceed to talk about the actual opening of the third eye and what's to be expected afterwards. And as always, if you believe, you will receive. Much love, you guys. Bye-bye.